Hey everyone, this is Saeed. Welcome to Messy Growth. Most founders will tell you building a startup is hard. Try doing it while living as a digital nomad with your husband and kids, moving between Berlin, a cabin in the woods in Poland, Madeira, and now Lisbon. So today's guest, Paulina Walkowiak, is the CEO and co-founder of CUX.io, a UX analytics tool that helps e-commerce companies eliminate conversion blockages. She's been building it for over 6 years in a space that is predominantly dominated by big players like Hotjar and Mixpanel. But his role makes her different. Before founding CUX.io, she spent 5 years at Kantar doing market research for banks and telecoms, the stable corporate environment. Then she left it all to build a startup while raising kids across multiple different countries. It's a fascinating story I want to dig into. She is also a TEDx speaker, teaches at 4 universities, won Strong Women in IT, and proudly calls herself a mompreneur, a term many women feel or founders feel rejected by, but she embraces it, which is fantastic. So today we're talking about how you build a company while constantly moving countries, what big corporates get wrong about UX despite having all the data, why users lie about their behavior, what it actually is to raise kids as digital nomads while trying to close deals and manage a team. Paulina, thanks for sitting down with me.
Thank you for the invitation, Sayed. I'm so happy to be here today.
Absolutely. I know that our mutual friend, Basha Durkovska, at this point, it's become a theme. She recommends a lot of the people that I speak to, and they're fascinating people as I was going through your background. So thank you so much for that. I know that you attended the Web Summit this
Yep,
year,
I
right?
did last week.
How was it?
Well, as usual, there's not much expectation on my side in terms of the speeches and the, let's say, inspirations. But for
Yeah.
me, it's amazing opportunity to meet all those people who are coming to Lisbon and are in my city, because
Yeah.
usually it's me who has to fly to them. So yeah, for me, Web Summit is a huge networking opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. And you left Poland. Was it because of the weather? Please be honest.
Well, I'm always saying that it's always better to cry on the beach, right? It is. It's that's a fact. But
Oh, good.
I didn't leave Poland because of the weather, like partially.
Yeah.
I love Portugal, and it was by accident. People always ask me like, how did you end up in Lisbon? And we had connected flights. That's the answer. That's the
That's
answer.
amazing. That's amazing. I don't like changing my tires every season. It's just a pain in the butt. So I fully understand the reason why you moved to Portugal. I was in Porto just a month ago. It's just beautiful.
It
Portugal, the
is.
food, the people, it's just fantastic. So I fully understand that. But you live in Lisbon now.
Yeah.
Where can people find the best pastel de nata?
I guess the original one in Belém.
Oh,
Those are
Belém.
the gifts. Right now, we also have the other coffee shops. Place for
Ooh.
pastel it's called Castro, and they
Mhm.
also opened the coffee shop in Zara. So it's like a trend now that
Okay.
the fashion brands are opening their coffee shops.
Wow.
So Zara is one of them. And they have this Castro coffee shop as well. It's really nice, and the pastels are pretty good.
Pastels, I had like 7 or 8 of them for breakfast every single day I was in Lisbon. So it's pretty fantastic. But coming to your history, like I said, Pauline, it's been fascinating your whole career, just watching everything and reading about you and just doing the research before I wanted to speak to you. You're the CEO of UX Analytics Company. You're also a digital nomad living in Lisbon with your husband and kids. You've lived in Berlin, a cabin in the woods in Poland, and Madeira. Most founders can barely handle running a company that feels like a full-time job.
Mm.
You've been doing it while moving countries every few months with children. Have you figured out something that the rest of us haven't?
Well, I was just looking for my place in the world. Actually,
Mm.
I like um that's not there's no simple answer to that, but it was not like every few months. Okay, in two cases, like moving from Berlin to Poland and then to Madeira, it was like half a year here, half a year there. But we spent 6 years in Berlin. Right now, we're already almost 4 years in Lisbon, so it's not that like often when we move.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were just looking for our place in the world. That's it. That's the answer. We were
Yeah.
looking for the best environment first to have kids, then to raise kids. In the meantime, to enjoy our life while being so exhausted most of the time with the company and all their stuff. So yeah, it's just, I don't know, looking for happy, looking for our place. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can tell you, I got kids, and for me to move is just a nightmare. I mean, I just can't imagine
Yeah.
moving away to a different city, let alone a country. I mean,
Yeah.
it seems like a project. So the fact that you were able to do it in the midst of building a company, I mean, kudos and respect to that. But coming to the company side of things, you co-founded CUX.io in 2019. That's 6+ years of building a company, right? In a space, like I said before, it's predominantly dominated by giants like Hotjar, Mixpanel, and Full Story. What made you think the world needs another analytics tool, and were you right about it?
Yeah. So I guess we were not so unique about the decision and the reasons, because we just wanted to do it another way, a bit differently. We wanted to do it better, as many founders want. First, we were running this boutique software house. So for us, it was like a real need that we really wanted to understand the customers or the users of the products that we were building as a software house for
Sure.
other startups. And with the mixed panel or all the complicated, complex platforms, there is always this problem that you need to invest a lot of time. You have to have a lot of knowledge, like being analysts. And we weren't. So it was too complicated to us, and it required too much investment in the beginning, in the implementation, configuration, and stuff like this. On the other hand, we had a Hotjar, which was too simple. There was just like like you can see some points of the journey, but you were not able to see the whole journey of the user. And as you mentioned, I have the background in marketing research, so for me it was really important to understand the full context. That's why we came up with our tool, because we really want to allow other people like us or other product people to understand this full user journey and not having to spend like hours or weeks on implementation and the configuration of the systems.
Gotcha. What would you say is your competitive edge in that part? And is this something that is well received by a lot of your customers?
Yeah, so if it comes to working with the biggest, so with the big companies, it's mostly our support. It's also it's mostly the consultancy part. That's something that
Okay.
they really value the most, because like there's a lot of SaaS tools on the market, and everyone
Yes.
has too many on their websites. We usually, when we are implemented to the customers, there is already like few tools like ours already implemented, but no one is using it because there is
Sure.
lack of time, lack of resources, lack of understanding as well. And when we
Mm.
come and motivate them to like work on those data, when we explain to them how to work on the data, when they see the first insights, they see the results after implementing them, that's the moment when the adventure begins, and they see that they are eager to know more. So first we were trying to educate the market from the like marketing side. We were producing a lot of content to educate people, but it was not working for ourselves, to be honest, because yeah, it needs some motivation, courage, some a lot of energy to start this. And
Sure.
when we started the consultancy, everything changed, and we were able to work with the biggest. So that's something that I always wanted for us. I guess we wasted like year and a half on trying to build the SaaS tool that will be scaling really fast and will be not too expensive. And that's
Sure.
not about our tool. We are something different. Yeah.
Got it. So you came from market research at Kantar, working with banks, telecoms, big corporations. That's a stable, I would assume, a well-paid
Mhm.
job. What made you leave that to start a startup?
Mm.
Was there a specific moment where you thought, "Hey, I need
Yep.
to build something of my own, and just do something that is mine"?
Well, so it wasn't the just one moment. First, the problem in the agency was that I faced the glass ceiling, and it wasn't because I was a woman. It was because I was too young. I was too young to run the
Oh, wow.
projects. I was a junior researcher for a long time. Then I started to be a researcher, but I always knew that I wanted more. And I felt ready to start to be a project manager, to really like own the whole process. And I asked a few times, and they told me that no, you are too young. You have to work at least this and that amount of years to achieve that. And I was like, oh no,
Yeah.
I'm ready right now. So I will look for another place for me. Uh,
Yeah.
then we moved to Berlin to feel alive, let's say, to chill a bit. Yeah, moving to Germany to chill. I know that how it sounds, but it was like this. So we chilled a bit too much because I got pregnant, and
Mhm.
that was the moment. Like when I was pregnant, we were thinking, what can we do
Sure.
to don't lose the mobility in life,
Sure.
don't
Sure.
lose this flexibility. And yeah, we have our doubts. Like I was really scared that I will lost my job and all other interests than the baby for like year or two even. And my
Yeah.
husband was really afraid that he will be not able to spend enough time with the baby because he will be like traveling for work, etc.,
Yeah.
etc. So we decided maybe that's the greatest time to start the business together. We had it in our mind that maybe this project will be something that I can like work with my passion, and his passion will be involved as well. And yeah, so we decided to risk. We had this backup money, which was the German government money for fresh parents. So thank you, Germany. And that was it. The moment was just perfect. So it was the
Yeah.
moment we risk everything. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fascinating you tell me this story. I have this running joke within my family. I mean, other than the Oceanset Plus we get, which is fantastic, thank you for the government. Yeah. Every single time there is a subsidy in the government that government introduces, like 2% credit or whatever, I've never qualified for any of that. I'm not a fresh parent. I don't have young kids anymore.
Right?
None of those qualifications apply. So anytime somebody says it, I look at it with envy.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, I have the
I'll leave.
same. Yeah. It is in the past, so not
Yeah.
anymore. But it was good to use the advantage of being the young foreign back
Right.
then.
Of course. Of course. Yeah. 100%. So most startups fail typically in the
Mm,
first 3 years. You're
yeah,
6+ years in CX.io. What almost killed the company that you managed to survive? Have there been moments like that?
of course, a lot of them. There was a
Mm.
lot of bad decisions. There was a lot of moments when we were just too tired to run it for a longer time. But I think that our determination is the key in here. And you ask what killed. So to give you like the specific example of, it was like hiring too many people too quickly after the
Mm.
investment. That like we've all, I mean, entrepreneurs, we've all been there and did it at least once. So that was
Yes.
one thing. The other was that we wanted to do too many things in one time, and we lost our focus, and it was like visible in the sales. So there was a lot of moments like this. But yeah, in the end, it's the founder, it's the mindset, it's the determination, it's our possibility to grow. And there were also the moments when we thought like, okay, everything we knew about the business, it's done. We have no idea
Yeah.
what's the next step, how to act, what the strategy, etc. And thankfully, in the beginning, we started to work with a business coach. So when we first started this transition from the corporate work to the startup, we started to work with a business coach, and it helped us a lot. So I can say that every 2 or 3 years we are doing the mentoring sessions. We are doing the coaching, mentoring, call it as you wish, but it's working with someone from the outside to understand what are the problems right now. What should we achieve as a founders? How should we like develop our skills in leadership, in the finances, etc., etc.
Sure.
So I guess like this self consciousness about our limits was really helpful in there. And also we are working on ourselves. Like we've been to therapy. We are trying to work on our balance, our mental health. I
Mm.
guess it's really crucial to survive. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. when you call yourself a family of digital
Yeah.
nomads, most people struggle to work remotely, myself included. I don't think I was ever, or I am built to be a person who could work remotely. I think pandemic changed quite a lot of the
Yeah.
things. And you're running a company while moving, between different
Mhm.
countries with children. How does that even work? Like practically, to even have Wi-Fi in the cabin in the woods, like how do you operate?
We have a Wi-Fi and it's more stable than in Berlin sometimes. So yeah, thankfully this cabin is in Poland and Poland has a really great infrastructure in
Yes,
terms
we do
of
have a
the
good
internet. So
infrastructure.
yeah, but I look at this from a bit different perspective. So I decided to work in IT, and IT is really challenging industry. Nowadays, everything like grows and changes rapidly, and you have to keep up. Keeping up is exhausting. Keeping up makes you feel like you're running the marathon every day, and it's not
Mm,
ending ever. So we were thinking, and we were thinking and talking about the disadvantages of being in this industry, and we were was trying to figure out if it is worth it. What are the good sides? How can we use this as an opportunity? Like
sure.
what is the additional value to being in IT. And the first one was, of course, this mobility, this opportunity to work from around the world. We had a really small children back then. They were not in a school system, so it was much easier. And we also wanted to use this moment because we knew that
Sure.
once the school system starts, it will get to be harder. So yeah, for us, it was the good side of being in the industry, to use it to the fullest, to try to work from different part of the world, or Europe in our case, and to check what's the best place to work. We've been living in the city, we've been living in a village, two villages actually, because in Poland it was like the middle of the woods, like literally. And in Madeira we were also in the village with the ocean
Mm,
view, but the village. So and now Lisbon is giving us again the city energy. So we are trying to balance it and have this contrast in life, having some slow moments, but also some really energetic ones.
yeah, I think it's such a great experience for children,
It is.
right? Like I can imagine the amount of stories that you get to tell. I met this person a few years ago in the US, some backwater town in the South, and he said something pretty interesting. He's like, I want my life story to be the one of a person who goes to a bar very late in their life, and everybody just knows that that person has a lot of
Mm,
stories to tell, and you
amazing.
cannot make stories behind a screen.
That's the thing.
You know what I mean? And which is why even with this initiative, I try to, as much as I possibly can, go talk to people in person because there is something about that. It's part of the journey. You get to go visit a different city, you get to meet the person, build the relationship on camera, off camera, so on and so forth. So I kind of feel like that is just a great experience for you and your family, and you probably will have a lot of
Yeah.
stories to tell out of that. On that topic, you probably call yourself a
Yeah.
mompreneur. A lot of women would dislike that term
Mhm.
because it kind of diminishes them as founders or C-level execs, what have you. Why do you embrace it?
Yeah, I totally understand why is it so. The longer I am entrepreneur, the more I also can see and acknowledge that, yeah, being
Sure.
a mom could be not seen as an advantage. So in
Advantage.
my term, I started to use it first because that was my reality. I I have never been mom without being entrepreneur, and the other side, because I started the company when I was pregnant, and it was like 3 years, 3 months more, and I born my first son was born. So I always was like both. And for me, it wasn't like I never figure out who I am as a mom, like only a mom, because all the company was on the side all the time,
Mm.
and the other way around. So for us, it was it was really really interesting experience, and I think it's only possible that we have both because if we will start company before, I don't think that we will decide to have children, maybe like not consciously. And on the other hand, if we will have children, I don't think that we will start the family, the company, because
Yeah.
it is like you are too occupied with one topic already. So starting both together was really significant in my example. And so that for me it was natural. It was natural, and I never thought about all this baggage that this term is like carrying, and I was really proud of it, and I am really proud
Man.
of it because it's also part of my authenticity. Like when we started the company, children were all the time with us. They were looking at us while we were doing uh, the business talks and pitching to the investors, or preparing for some presentations, recording the videos. They were playing that they are recording the company videos. They were playing that their mascots, their dolls were named by our coworkers or our investors. So their favorite role play was like calling the client. So yeah, they were with us, and I couldn't afford to show them not to real me. No, like someone other. I was not like this boss bitch, let's say. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word in here, but
Please.
I'm not allowed to be this person, because I didn't want my child to see me like this. I wanted my children to see me for who I am, and and this human part of business was really important for me. And I guess that's something that we are winning the big companies over, our authenticity, our like being ourselves, because they need the human on the other side, and we are the humans. So yeah.
Wow. It is inspirational, the way you've done it. I was also a VP at multiple different companies, and I don't think my approach was similar to yours. And while you're just kind of embracing it, I get it, right? I mean, like kids are your life. They're a major part of your
Yeah.
life, so might as well have them be involved. This is so fantastic.
Ima-
But I'm
Imagine the situation when I have a business call, and I can say it as an anecdote because it was also one of guests of your podcast. So we have this business call, and I'm trying to be professional, and I'm trying to talk as an expert, but I'm breastfeeding in the same time. So and this person doesn't know that I'm breastfeeding, of course, because
oh
the
wow.
screen is like this. So I'm just praying that my baby is not like getting up or just starting to moan or stuff like this. And at some point, he is getting up. And in this case, it was like ice breaking moment, thankfully. But it was a huge risk. Someone could not understand the situation. So it was even harder to not be myself while I was like doing the thing like breastfeeding, right?
I was raised by a single mom, so I know how you feel in the sense that like it's just part of life, and that was like 30 years ago or something.
Yeah.
So naturally, those were even ancient times. But this is very inspiring. Paulina, at a loss of words, right? This is fantastic. Um, you're a CEO, you're a mom, you've moved countries, you're teaching at 4+ universities. Was there a time you had a full 8 hours sleep, or is that just not a thing anymore?
I'm really careful about my sleep. Like I really try to sleep 8 hours. It's not always possible, but I do my best, and I'm trying to like take care of myself. And I'm not doing all of that in the same time, like it's
Mm,
split, it's split, it's spread in time. So yeah, it is a lot. And sometimes I know that I have this tendency to take too much on my shoulders. And I'm working on it. I'm trying to set better boundaries.
mm,
It helped me to grow a lot, but at this point I am right now, I know that it could be too much. And
mm.
I definitely not embrace anyone to take so much things on their shoulders, because it could be exhausting, and it takes a
Yeah.
lot of work uh, to work on your energy, to manage
Sure.
your energy in the right way. I'm still learning that. I'm a very ambitious person, and I'm trying to like push towards some success. But even this year, I realized that my life is in a really great point, I would say, and I have everything I'm ever imagined that I need for a happy life. Like I'm running the company. My children are really healthy and happy with the school. I have
All that
really
matters.
a healthy and happy marriage. I'm going to Pilates twice a week. I have my dance classes. I'm living in a great city, but at some point I realized that I'm not that happy, to be honest.
Mm.
There's something like I have everything I ever was dreaming of, but
Yes.
happiness is not there. And I started
Yeah.
to think, I started to like, looking into myself, and I realized that I have too much. My boundaries are really not where they should be. And I also need new goals, and maybe those goals don't have to be that big as it was before. Maybe I should slow down a bit. And starting to think about it and work on that gave me more happiness than all this like structured life, let's say. Yeah.
This is fascinating. Um, is there, as I grow older, been thinking about it a lot recently. I guess it's one of those privileges, right? When a lot of the stresses in your life go away, you start thinking about first world problems. And for me, it's like, what lesson do I want my children to take away from my life?
Mm-hmm.
A life that I live, the values that I have, like, and it's a lot of conscious decisions I've made throughout my life, which is I've never been on social media. I don't want to be a part of that void. Um, I want to do good as much as I possibly can, have interesting conversations that I can share with my kids. Is there a Do you have something similar to that? Whereas like I'm doing all of this, so there's a legacy, some sort of a lesson where kids can take away. You're like, that's my mom, dude. Like, she's a badass.
Um, I don't think that much about what children will think about me, because I know that at some point they will hate me, and that's, I guess, it's better to acknowledge that rather than
I'm not ready for that.
waiting for the thankfulness or something. It will not come. I'm afraid that it
Yeah.
will not come. And
Yeah.
maybe they know 4 languages because we are moving a lot. But on the other hand, they will be most probably doing the therapy because of like, I don't know, like lack of the mm, identity, or something like problems
Sure.
with identity. I don't know. There will be always
Mm.
something. So for me, the most important, like this stance of all of I am doing, is to have this feeling that I lived my life to the fullest, that I used all of the chances and moments that I could use, and that I don't regret, like don't taking some risk, or um, being just in one place, or not founding the place I feel like my place in the world. I'm not sure if I'm in the right place in the world for me right now, and if it will be for forever. I never know that. So this flexibility is, I think, something that keeps me alive and keeps me wanting more and asking myself if it's the right choice.
Switching gears a little bit, CUX.io helps e-commerce companies eliminate conversion blockages.
Yeah.
What's the worst conversion blocker you've seen that a company didn't realize was killing their sales?
But you mean like worst, the biggest, or the worst, the most like
Most exciting one,
but
I would
exciting
say.
one?
Where it's a fun story to tell.
There was a lot of different. Sometimes they are just stupid ones.
Mm.
Like you have just one landing page, one screen, and then the call to action button is under default, for example, and yeah, and no one knows what to do. There is a lot of problems, and usually like the most problem is mobile version of the website.
Sure.
That's my favorite one, because it is like what it been like 15 years of
Sure.
mobile years already,
Yes, for
and
sure.
still every single customer we are analyzing the data for, there is something on the mobile version. Because we don't think of the user journey as like one thing across the devices, across the channels. We are focusing on the desktop version, eventually on the mobile version, but we will see. And there are also the mobile apps right now. So that's completely different words. And I guess the most exciting part of what we do is to get all the puzzles together and build this full journey, the whole journey, to show our customers that, of course, that's great that you have a mobile app, but mobile app reason or like the goal of the mobile app for customers, it's not to buy your stuff. It's to feel connected with your brand. It's the loyalty, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you are selling on the website. So it's great because it can help like one to the other. But if you expect the conversion on the mobile app be the same as on web, that's not the way to do that.
Yeah.
So showing this clear path is something that gives me the most satisfaction of what we are doing. There's a lot of websites that have really complicated journeys there, that have a lot of touch points, and users are just like getting stuck, getting lost on them. So I guess that's the most exciting ones, because there's not just like one reason, there's just not one CTA, but there is a lot of factors which we are combining together, analyzing and giving the clear view to the customer.
So you've on the topic of usability,
Yeah.
you've worked with the big corporations, TV Media, PZU.
Yeah.
Those companies have massive budgets and tons of data. There's no lack of data in there, but they still make terrible UX decisions. Why is that? What do big companies get wrong about user experience?
Those examples are doing great decisions
Oh,
about
no,
your life,
no.
but I know what you mean. I think that having the data and having access to the data is not equal to using them. So for us, analytics is a huge challenge for those companies, because there is too much data in most of the cases. So if you have like product specialist who needs to make like quick decision about the product right away, he doesn't have time to go to the analyst team and wait 3 weeks for the report, which he doesn't understand, and still he is like relying on his gut feeling what to do. So we need some sources of the data that are available right away and in a real time for those people, and that's something we are trying to do. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is that we are building our tool not to focus on data itself, or not analytics or metrics itself, rather than on the insights.
Sure.
And a lot of our work is to help the companies find out how to implement the insights into their business projects, processes, etc. So I guess that's the problem. The problem is that being overwhelmed with the data, being overwhelmed with the possibilities, in the end, we decide to do as we think is the best way and not relying on the data. So what we do is teaching them how to do this step by step, how to start with a small quick win, and then get another and another. And then after 3 years, you are able to grow up your conversion from 27% to 57, let's say. We have this, that's actual example of one of our customers. That's not something that you can do overnight. It's like, it's a long process, and it has to be in a blood system in a company.
Yeah. I mean, on that topic, you say you help companies translate user knowledge into business decisions, but most companies don't listen to users. They listen to what I call the hippos, the highest paid person's opinions. How do you fight that?
I'm not sure if I'm fighting that. Mostly we are trying to show them that at some point, investing more money in the marketing, in the performers, or stuff like this, doesn't pay off as it was before. So,
Sure.
and getting the data about the users, it's something that you can be sure of. Like those people are there, they are visiting your websites, they have some needs, they have some interests um, to address with your business somehow. So that's something that the only thing that it's stable in nowadays in this life. So if you will rely on that, at least in this moment, you will be able to address and focus on their needs. So that's something that we are trying to say, and I guess most and more and more companies are getting to this point when they are realizing that yeah, maybe like growing our marketing budget, it's not the best decision. And sometimes they are also stuck with the conversion, especially if there are multiple channels like website, desktop, other website on a desktop or mobile app or some other apps like TV app as well. And they decide to do something to untangle the pods that are really mixed together.
Uh, Switching the gears once again, you won Strong Woman in IT,
Yeah.
and you're in the ranking of 50 most creative people in business. Does that actually open doors, or is it just a nice LinkedIn badge that doesn't really change anything?
Well, you never know what will open the doors for you. So we did a lot of uh, rankings and other, how to say it? Jesus, what's the name for the competitions? The competitions, ranking, etc., for the visibility. And it's not like from, of course, sometimes there were the rankings like 50 creative people gave us the opportunity to start the pilot with TVN. So that was a great option, and this opened the door. There were some other programs that get us the partners, potential customers, so that was the most valuable ones. But most of them are just for visibility, just for having the occasion to network, so to connect with other people, and you never know which one will open the door. It's a huge challenge for me to recognize which ones are the most valuable, which one are worth to invest the energy in, and those who are offering the network and who can like really connect you with other people are the most important ones, I guess.
Fair enough. Fair enough. 6+ years as a founder, have you ever had a moment where you thought, I can't do this anymore, I'm done? If so, what kept you going?
Yeah, like every month. Yeah, I think it happens every month, and I I feel that this business is not finished yet. I think
Mhm.
there is a lot that we can achieve, and in the end of the day, I really like to build the relations with our customers. I really love the vision for what we have in our backlog and what we want to bring to the table, to the business. So I think that I will be finished when I feel that I'm done here and I need another mission.
Do you feel like that in a lot of ways you make yourself unemployable in your own head if you go from CEO, founder to
Yeah.
working for somebody else because of the freedom and the fact that you have done your own thing? It just kind of makes it impossible to work for somebody else.
I think I'm afraid that it will be like I think that if I will not be a founder anymore, it will be freelance journey for me because I
Uh,
cannot imagine myself being in a corporate structure. I never been good in the corporate structure. Even when I was in the market research agency, I was trying to do my own thing. I was trying to implement the UX research in their design thinking. That was completely not the place for that, and they were completely not ready for that. But yeah, I was trying, so I'm always trying.
sure. I mean, that's all we got at the end, right? Is that we can just try from there. Why do you think corporate structures are hated so much or disliked?
I don't know if they are hated. I know a lot of people who really appreciate the stability and the money they have. And really,
Instability in corporations?
kinda.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Cool. No, obviously there are
Yeah.
corporations I've not worked at yet.
Like you don't have to worry about your payroll next month. That's for
Oh,
sure.
sure, sure,
If
sure,
you
sure.
will be fired, then you will most probably also get some equivalent
Severance.
for the time. So in these terms, it is stable, I guess. I really don't know why it's so hated. And there were the points when I was also thinking, yeah, maybe it will be easier. But yeah, it's answer, to be honest. I think that a lot of people are really thankful that they can be part of something bigger and they just have to worry about the small part of
Sure.
all of this. So I guess that this is the appreciation. And I think that it's just the illusion that um, going to the startup, it's like leaving this race or something, because there is they say that the corporate life is also a big race, and we don't want to be a part of it, so we are starting our startups. But there is another race in the startups, and even bigger and even more cruel at some point. So yeah, I guess it's like you have to find your priorities, your point of view, and how you want to be a part of the system, because it's being outside the system, it's not possible, I guess, to live a like really good life.
So Poland, Berlin, Madeira, now Lisbon.
Yeah,
What's next?
we'll see. We will see. Now it's Lisbon time, and I'm quite happy to enjoy the city, especially now when we have like cold days, 15 degrees.
All days of 15 degrees. I'll take that any day of the week.
I don't know yet. I don't know yet. Right now, I'm quite happy where I am right now. So we'll see.
Okay, fair enough. Last question before I head into our rapid fire round. If you could go back to 2019 when you started CUX.io, knowing everything you know about now, the sleepless nights, the near failures that you talk about, the constant moving with the kids, would you still do it, or would you have just stayed at Kantar with a stable paycheck?
I will not stay with Kantar. I'm not sure if I will do it. Maybe I will start some freelancing. But yep, I guess that's the answer. I will not stay with corporate, but I'm not pretty sure if I will start the company once again, if I will know everything that it's included in it. Maybe I will be a freelancer and do some, I don't know, like insight research on the way. Yeah, but I guess it's hard to answer it right now because it's still work in progress. So
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah. But do you have this thing? Sorry, just a question that came into my mind. Do you have this thing where you see on LinkedIn or on social when a lot of people get acquired, the companies get acquired, they're raising millions of dollars
Mhm.
in VC funding, and they're getting VC funding, and then their revenues are hitting like tens of millions of dollars. Do you have that like, God, I feel envious? Do you have that moment as a founder, or you're kind of like, nah, I'm above it all?
I used to have it.
Uh,
To some point, I used to have it, especially when I felt a bit stuck with the children, a lot of things to manage at home. And I've seen that people who started at the same moment that we started are getting higher, like,
further ahead, yeah.
yeah, exactly. But right now, I think that, yeah, it's great, but think about the pressure they got with the money. Think about the hours
Yes.
they have to work, and
Strings.
exactly. And right now, I'm not anymore, because I'm in peace with where I am and what's my journey. I think there are some moments that, like I'm a bit jealous. Maybe it could be different, but in this life, in the situation I have, I think it couldn't, and I'm making the most out of it.
Well, Paulina, in my books, you're a hero. Uh, and I mean that because, not everybody walks the same path.
Yeah.
And I was talking to actually Basha about this yesterday, is that reality is very seldom what it seems from the outside.
Yeah.
So while you may see a very curated, meticulously edited version of somebody's life on LinkedIn of like hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions in funding, realities very
Definitely
often
different.
not.
Of course
Yeah,
it is.
yeah,
It's always
yeah.
something that we have to sacrifice for.
Yeah.
the part of the story. Yeah.
So rapid fire round, Paulina. So quick questions, quick answers. Best advice you've received, business or personal?
I guess hire slowly, fire quickly.
Hire slowly. Is there something you look for when you're hiring somebody, by the way? Like in particular?
The fit to the team, that's the most important. In the
Culture.
small teams, culture, yeah, cultural thing. Like
Yeah.
it is long distance. It's really hard to work with someone who doesn't fit, who you don't have like the pleasure to work with. Lately, I read this article that you don't have to like people who you are working with, but that's not for me. I really, right? It is really
I
hard.
can't.
Yeah,
I can't. I mean, imagine you spend half of your waking moments at workplace, assuming you
that's the
work 8
thing.
hours a day. Why would you want to work in an environment where you don't like people? Life is too short. Like really, really is.
It is.
So make
And
good
it will
choices.
influence your motivation. Like really quick, you can see that
Sure.
it's like, yeah, downgrade.
100%. Yeah. Advice you ignored or wish you had listened to.
Oh yeah, that's one. Start to focus on the corporates, on the enterprises from the very beginning. I had not enough courage to do that at this point, and I thought that we have to test. And we heard a lot of different advices that we should scale the business and do this the classical SaaS way. And yeah, I wish I have enough courage to not ignore it in the beginning.
What would you tell your younger self, say 7, 10 years ago?
17 years ago. Know your boundaries. Know
Is
your
that because of the partying in Berlin or?
no, I wish it was. No, it's more about not saying yes to everything.
Sure.
Not taking too much, not caring everything. You don't have to be perfect in everything. That's hard. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good advice. Is there an ongoing challenge, just one that in your current work that keeps you up at night?
Cash flow.
Cash flow. Can't live without it. Can't live with it.
No, that's the thing. That's the thing.
Cool. Your favorite restaurant, meal, or spot? Since I asked about Poland, this is an exception. We will go with Lisbon for you.
With Lisbon, oh, there is this. That's not popular because I love one pizzeria in here, and it's the 12th, the best in the Europe.
Wow.
It's called Forno d'Oro, and it's amazing. The service, the atmosphere, the food in there. It's the place when I go when I need a comfort. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed it. The Lisbon for pizza.
Right?
Like, I wouldn't
Because
have not been
I
able
don't
to.
eat outside a lot because I am pretty good cooker. So I love to cook and prepare,
Sure.
especially the seafood at home. So and pizza is something that I'm not able to do like this. I don't have
Right.
this big
Yeah.
oven.
Stone.
So yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Is there a tool that you swear by and cannot live without?
Mm. And you don't mean my Dyson dryer, right?
Sure, it could be a Dyson dryer. Why not?
Yeah, and the calendar.
Cool.
Yeah,
Oh, you mean Google Calendar?
Google Calendar. Yeah, I
Well,
think.
fair enough. I like that.
I think
I like
there is
that.
not other that is so important to plan everything, and I use it
Yeah.
both in a personal way and the business way. Yep.
Yeah. Well, then you have a fascinating story, pretty inspirational, and it's very human. I mean, it's not like a textbook story of like, yeah, millions of dollars. You genuinely have a lot of struggles, and you've been able to build a family in the process. Not an easy feat by any stretch of the imagination. If there's somebody in Poland from a city, village, doesn't really matter, listening to you, and they're young and they're wanting to start something of their own, is there an advice you would give them or would like to say something to them?
Yeah, like sort out your priorities. Be sure of what is the most important thing in your life because it will help you to organize everything else, the priorities.
Excellent. Paulina, it's been fantastic. I really appreciated you coming on. Where can listeners find you? Is LinkedIn website, any
I guess
upcoming
LinkedIn
project?
is the easiest.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
there. Yeah, I'm trying to not be so uh, so much on the other social media like Instagram. I
What? No,
stopped.
TikTok?
Not never. I never installed TikTok. That's my. It should be my biggest achievement of my life. Like never installed TikTok on. I'm on Instagram. That's my guilty pleasure, but I'm not publishing anymore because the point.
All right. I'm not a huge fan of social media, so I fully understand and respect that.
But LinkedIn is it a must have. So
Yeah.
we connected on LinkedIn, right?
Oh, there you go. Right.
Yeah.
You got to have some outlet.
Yep.
Is there a project that is upcoming, a launch, talk, or an event that you're excited about?
Yeah, we are still developing our AI insight assistant, and it will be more of it. Right now, our assistant is able to analyze the whole heat map, so you don't have to analyze heat map by yourself anymore. And it's not like
Wow.
that highlights or something like from other tools. It's just
Sure.
proper analysis, and we are implementing that for other of our features. So I hope that we will finally go from analytics to the insights.
Yeah. Well, Paulina, I wish you nothing but success.
Thank you.
And cheering from the sidelines for CUX. I hope this is not the last time we have a conversation. Really look forward to see, obviously, down the line how things progress.
Maybe
But I
some
appreciate
coffee
it.
when I'm in Warsaw.
Or I'm in Lisbon, like,
Or you're in
for a
Lisbon.
pastel.
Pastel, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
In
absolutely.
Zara.
Appreciate oh, maybe. I really appreciated you coming to the show and sitting down with me and spending time with me.
It was a pleasure.
Folks, if you got value out of this, share it with someone who needs to hear it. I'll see you next week. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.